Fort Wayne, Indiana, was where Saturday night's main event was being held for this edition of the event. And the show kicked off with Rhea Ripley, Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair taking on Jade Cargill and her squad. And immediately Jade Cargill faked Rhea Ripley out, acting like she was about to start the match, but she was like, you know what? I'm too good to start the match. And so she tagged in B-Fab, and immediately B-Fab went for a boot, but got quickly taken out with a headbutt, and a big clothesline from Rhea. And then Rhea took B-Fab into the corner, looking like she was about to tag Charlotte, but then tag Alexa Bliss in, and Alexa hit a Hurricane Rana and a big slap to the face to Michin, and a big drop kick to Michin as well. Then hit this nasty, senton thing. Then we see Charlotte Flair finally get in there, did a head scissors, takedown move where she just flips them over and over again. Then does her dad's classic Flair walk, and then hits chops on B-Fab with a big clothesline to take her down. Then B-Fab gets hit with a knee breaker into the corner with a big crossbody from Alexa Bliss. Then Alexa Bliss gets pulled out by Jade Cargill into a super kick, and this allows Jade Cargill to get in the ring, take out Rhea Ripley, distract Charlotte Flair to have Michin take her out. Then we see Charlotte Flair get hit with a clothesline from Jade Cargill, and then Jade Cargill slams Charlotte Flair's head into the turnbuckle. Then we see the submission specialist, according to Michael Cole, Michin, put a guillotine on Charlotte in the middle of the ring, but then eventually Charlotte fought out, hit Jade Cargill, hit B-Fab off the top rope, and hit a big boot onto Michin. Then she tried to go on the top or middle rope, but gets taken out by Michin into a Frankensteiner. Then all of a sudden we see Michin get thrown up in the air by Charlotte Flair. Then, as just about shoots Mal make the tag, B-Fab gets in, stops Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair trying to pull and try to tag in Rhea Ripley, punches B-Fab, but B-Fab knocks it off, her head off with a big clothesline. And then hits Alexa Bliss off the apron. And then both of these women hit a big boot to each other, taking them both out. Then eventually, Charlotte Flair got the tag onto Rhea. Rhea hit a beautiful dropkick on Jade Cargill. Big kick straight to Michin. Knee to the face with a big clothesline. Over and over again with a big super kick. Then face plant. And a big drop kick again. And then a missile drop kick. Then we see Jade Cargill get hit with a big knee. And then Michin gets hit with a big headbutt. Then Michin tries to do for a Hurricane Rana, but gets caught. Then almost gets planted with a power bomb, but she turns into a Poison Rana, hitting a Poison Rana onto Rhea Ripley. Then we see Alexa Bliss hit B-Fab with a Tornado DDT. Then goes for a Sister Abigail DDT to B-Fab, but B-Fab gets out of there and hits her own DDT. But Alexa Bliss hits a double DDT on both B-Fab and Michin. Then Charlotte Flair gets tagged and hit a big crossbody on Michin and B-Fab. Then hits Michin with a big German. And then almost gets ran into Charlotte Flair, or Rhea Ripley. But then Rhea moves Charlotte Flair out of the way, letting Michin axe hit Rhea Ripley. Then Charlotte Flair got hit with a Styles Clash by Michin, since, Michin and AJ Styles were in the OC together. If you guys don't remember that, then get better brain knowledge. But the pin was broken up with Rhea's big kick. And by the way, Charlotte, do never, ever wear this gear again. Don't ever wear this gear again. This gear was way too loose. Like, there was a big gap. Like, oh my god, get some tighter pants. Then Alexa Bliss took the fight to Jade Cargill, but didn't stop because she got hit with a choke thing. But she got taken out by Charlotte Flair. Then B-Fab and Michin took out Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. Then wah bam, wah bam, wah bam. Then we finally see a little Clash in Italy preview where we see Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill start throwing bombs at each other's face. Jade Cargill went for the pump kick. Rhea Ripley dodges, hits a headbutt, puts a riptide in for the 1-2, until it gets broken up by Michin. Then Charlotte Flair takes out B-Fab. Big super kick to Michin by Rhea, and then Charlotte and Rhea team up on B-Fab and Michin, throw them across the ring, do the suck it emote, and then they hug with Alexa Bliss. And look at Rhea's face, bro. She's like, ugh. But that didn't really work out because they all three got pushed into each other by Jade Cargill. Big pump kick, Jaded, 1, 2, 3. B-Fab, Michin, and Jade Cargill win the tag team match. So I'm telling you, Rhea, don't have friends, bro. Just don't have friends. Literally, just be a solo, man. You see, if you didn't have friends, if you didn't really trust Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, then you would have won the match. But no, you had to trust them and have the little huggy, lovey-dovey thing, and then you just lost. So, make sure this doesn't happen at Clash in Italy next weekend. Next up, it was time for Sol Ruca versus Becky Lynch for the Intercontinental Championship. And immediately, Becky throws the championship at Sol Ruca and starts attacking her with bombs. Then eventually, Sol Ruca had enough, throws Becky Lynch down, plants her in the middle of the ring. Then Becky went for a enziguri, but it got missed into a big splash. Super kick straight to the face. Enziguri, big springboard 450 clothesline. Then hits a nasty kick to the face of Becky. Hits the top rope moonsault onto Becky. Then, as they were in the ring, Becky took Sol Ruca off the middle rope, planting her in the middle of the ring. It went for a manhandle slam, but gets reversed by Sol Ruca. And Sol Ruca was just throwing bombs in the corner at Becky Lynch. But then all of a sudden, when Sol Ruca went for the Soul Snatcher, Becky Lynch pulled crooked Jessica Carr in the way, letting Sol Ruca hit a Soul Snatcher on her. And then all of a sudden, we see Becky out of the ring, all that stuff. Sol Ruca checking on the referee, and the referee calls for the bell and calling for a disqualification on Becky Lynch for pulling her in the way and having Sol Ruca win the match. But as Sol Ruca's checking on the referee and all that stuff, Becky Lynch slides back in the ring, hits the championship over Sol Ruca's head. Manhandle slam, big punches to the face, another manhandle slam, punches to the face, another manhandle slam. And then, after we see Becky in the locker room talking to Nick Aldis, where Nick Aldis has always had these small of hands? Why is his hand so small? Anyway, we see Becky Lynch be informed that Nick Aldis just got off the phone with Adam Pearce. Adam Pearce has made it official. At Clash in Italy, it will be Sol Ruca versus Becky Lynch for the Intercontinental Championship. And Becky Lynch wasn't too happy. She just said this was the biggest corruption in the history of pro wrestling. So, yeah. Anyway, it was time for Ethan Page versus Penta for the Intercontinental Championship, where we saw Penta do this move to Ethan Page. But then as Penta was going for a springboard drop kick or some type of move, he gets drop kicked out of air. Then Ethan Page takes advantage, starts throwing bombs into Penta's face, but didn't really work out because he got thrown into the turnbuckle, and then Penta did this little arm drag to him, super kick, and then they ended up outside where we see Ethan Page gets hit with another super kick. But then as Penta was running at Ethan Page, we see Ethan Page lift him up, and Penta lands on the announce table. And then Ethan Page throws Penta into the LED ring post. And then hits an elbow drop. But then Ethan Page gets kicked square in the face by Penta. And big reverse sling blade, then a big drop kick straight to the chest in the corner, and then Penta goes flying over the top rope, landing on his booty, where he apparently had a spinal injury that caused him some pain. Then we get back in the ring. We see Ethan Page do a fallaway slam to Penta. Then Penta slaps the chest of Ethan Page, and then hits a nasty Frankensteiner off the top rope. Hits a big DDT. Then all of a sudden, Ethan Page hits this big kick to the back of the head of Penta. Then hits a big power slam. Then Penta hits a backstabber straight to Ethan Page. Then they start throwing hands at each other, where Penta starts chopping him. Ethan Page starts chopping Penta. Big super kick, big super kick. Then a forearm to the face, and then a double kick to the face, and then a big boot to the face to both men. Then all of a sudden, Ethan Page counters a move into a code breaker. Then Penta hits the Penta driver for the 1-2. Ooh. Then Penta sets Ethan Page on the top rope. As Penta's trying to do a move, we see his mask almost get pulled off. And then we see an avalanche slam from the top rope for the 1-2. Ooh. And this got Ethan Page mad, so he went to the corner, took the turnbuckle off, throws it on the ground. Then the referee's like, "Oh, what are you doing? Tries to put on the turnbuckle pad, but then Ethan goes to the other turnbuckle, rips it off, and then slams Penta into it and hits a roll for the 1-2. Ooh. Then Ethan Page is arguing with the official, and this allows Ethan Page to get sent into the exposed turnbuckle. Big springboard Mexican Destroyer for the 1-2-3, and still the Intercontinental Champion, Penta. So congratulations to Penta for retaining the Intercontinental Championship. Next, it was time for the Irresistible Forces to take on Brie Bella and Paige for the Women's Tag Team Championships, and immediately we see Brie Bella try to fight back on Lash Legend and Paige, but then Lash Legend hits a big clothesline on Paige, and another shoulder tackle, and another shoulder tackle, and then all of a sudden we see Nia Jax get in and start twerking all over the back of Paige when she was trapped into the ropes. Then we see Lash Legend start hitting Paige over and over in the ropes. Then Paige gets crushed in the corner by Nia Jax. Then all of a sudden, when she tries to do the same move again, Paige dodges out of the way, letting Nia get slammed straight into the LED ring post. Brie Bella comes in with a missile drop kick. Yes, kicks. And then knees to the face to Lash. And then all of a sudden, she gets a popped up headbutt by Nia Jax. Big Samoan drop, big frog splash, hit the leg drop combination for a 1-2. Ooh, until it gets broken up by Paige. Then Paige gets caught by Nia Jax, and then it gets turned into a roll-up where we see Brie Bella put her foot on the butt of Paige for a leverage coverage for the 1-2-3, and still the tag team champions, Paige and Brie Bella. Anyway, it was time for the Street Profits to take on the Vision for the World Tag Team Championships, where we see immediately Montez Ford get hit with a big clothesline by Austin Theory. Then Austin Theory got hit with a headlock. Then Montez gets taken down with a big shoulder tackle. And we see Logan try to do a test of strength, but takes a cheap shot onto Montez Ford. Then Montez Ford hits a nasty arm drag, multiple arm drags, and a beautiful drop kick to Logan Paul and Austin Theory. Then we see the Street Profits hit a tag team move onto Logan Paul and Austin Theory. Then we see Austin Theory get put out taken out of the ring. Then the Vision regrouped, talked to Paul Heyman to see what their next strategy was, and their next strategy was to leave the ringside area, but the Street Profits had known that business and came chased them down, brought them back into the ring where we saw Dawkins hit a big 360 splash into an enziguri on Logan Paul. Big punch straight to Austin Theory. Then all of a sudden we see Angelo Dawkins turn around and get hit with an uppercut by Logan Paul. Big assisted splash in the corner by Logan, and in this big slam from Austin Theory. Then the Vision do a shoulder tackle to Angelo Dawkins, where we see he get hit with a clothesline by Logan Paul. And then it happens again. But then as soon as, Angelo's trying to make the tag, Logan Paul comes in there. He gets thrown out of the ring by Angelo. But then as soon as he was about to make the tag, Logan Paul pulls Montez Ford out of the ring. And then he tries to do it for another assisted splash onto Angelo. But Angelo moves out the way, letting Austin Theory get hit with a big thing. And this allows Angelo Dawkins to hit the neck breaker onto Austin Theory. Well, Logan Paul gets a DDT'd by Austin Theory. Then we see Montez Ford get in the ring, hits this nasty elbow to Austin Theory. Big punch to Logan Paul. Big clothesline to Austin Theory. Another big clothesline. And then takes out Logan Paul again. And then hits this beautiful power slam to Austin Theory. Big moonsault, standing moonsault. Then all of a sudden, we see Austin Theory hit a big forearm to Montez's face. Logan Paul hits a clothesline. And then Austin Theory gets hit with a move. Then all of a sudden, we see Logan Paul get hit with a dive from Montez Ford. Big blockbuster electric chair bomb for the 1-2 until Logan Paul breaks it up. Then Logan gets hit with the enziguri. And then as both Austin Theory and Logan Paul are on the outside, we see Montez come over and land on both of them with a big splash. But all of a sudden we see Braun Breaker come to spear. But Montez jumps over the spear and Angelo Dawkins pounces Braun Breaker over the announce table into the chairs, where we see Austin Theory get hit with a big spine buster from the heavens for the 1-2 until we see Paul Heyman put Austin Theory's foot on the rope, causing a rope break. And then this got Montez very mad at Paul Heyman, where he started running at him, but then gets hit with a punch to the face by Logan Paul with the brass knuckles. And he puts him away. Then all of a sudden, Logan Paul gets a hit with Angelo Dawkins as Angelo Dawkins flies off the top rope. But this allows Austin Theory to cover Montez for the 1-2-3 and still the tag team champions, the Vision. But Braun Breaker wasn't done. He ran into the ring, speared Angelo, and speared Montez, and the Vision stood tall at Saturday night's main event. So it was a good showing for the Profits, but they came very close, but didn't come close enough. So congratulations to the Vision for retaining their tag team champions. And congratulations to all the matches on here. This is a pretty fun show and a pretty fun event to watch. I loved all the matches. I don't think there was any bad match. I think the worst match was the women's tag team match. Not the 6-woman tag team match. Damn, one with Jade. I think that maybe been the worst match. Maybe the women's tag. Actually, you know what? I take it back. I say that the worst match was probably the women's tag team match with Brie and Paige. I think that's the worst match. But it wasn't a bad match. So I think all the matches on Saturday Night's Main Event were pretty solid. But what do you guys think in the comments below? Anyway, have a beautiful rest of the day. See you tomorrow. Bye.